Today we're going to learn another 10 common idioms, phrases, and sentences that native English speakers use every single day. These expressions are super useful, and I promise by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what these expressions mean and how to use them naturally in your own conversations. Here's how you can get the most out of this video. First, listen while reading the subtitles. This will help you catch every word and follow along more easily. Then, play the video again and try to repeat the sentences out loud, but this time without reading the subtitles. This will really help you improve your pronunciation, listening, and speaking skills. Don't forget to pause and write down any new expressions you like. That way, you can remember and review them later. This is a great way to boost your listening, reading, and speaking, all at the same time. This lesson is a fun and simple way to improve your English step by step. Before we dive in, if you're finding this helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe. It helps a ton, and I really appreciate your support. All right, let's get started with our first expression. Number 1, so convenient. This phrase is something you'll hear all the time in everyday English. When something is convenient, it means it's easy, helpful, or makes your life simpler. Adding so in front makes it stronger, like you're really impressed by how easy something is. We use this expression when we want to show that something saves us time or effort. It's like saying, "Wow, this makes things so much easier for me." You can use it for anything from technology to locations to services. Let me tell you about my friend Sarah. She just moved to a new apartment, and there's a grocery store right downstairs in her building. She doesn't have to drive anywhere or walk far to buy food. When she told me about it, she said, "Having a grocery store in my building is so convenient. I can buy milk and eggs in my pajamas if I want to." For example, this new app is so convenient. I can order food and it arrives in 20 minutes. You might hear something like, "Living near the subway station is so convenient. I don't need a car anymore." Here's another one. "Online banking is so convenient. I can pay all my bills from my phone." Have you ever used this expression before? It's one of those phrases that makes you sound really natural when speaking English. Let me know in the comments what's the most convenient thing in your life right now. Number 2, balls in your court. This idiom comes from tennis. In tennis, when the ball is in your court, it means it's your turn to hit the ball back. But in everyday English, this idiom means it's your turn to make a decision or take action. You're the one who needs to do something next. We use this expression when we want to tell someone that we've done our part, and now it's their responsibility to decide what happens next. It's a polite way to say the decision is yours or it's up to you now. Here's a story about my cousin Mike. He applied for a job at a marketing company. After his interview, the manager told him, "We really liked meeting you, Mike. We'll send you all the information about the position and salary. Take your time to think about it and let us know what you decide. The ball's in your court now." This meant that Mike had all the information he needed, and now he had to decide if he wanted the job or not. For example, "I've given you all my ideas for the project. The ball's in your court now." People often say, "I've apologized for what I did wrong. The ball's in your court if you want to forgive me." Let's take this one. "We've made our best offer for the house. The ball's in your court to accept it or not." This idiom is really useful when you want to be polite, but also make it clear that someone else needs to make the next move. Do you think you could use this expression in your daily life? Number 3, literally. This word is everywhere in modern English. Originally, literally means exactly as stated or word for word. But nowadays, native speakers use it in two ways. Sometimes we use it for emphasis, even when we don't mean something word for word. It's become a way to make our feelings stronger. When young people and native speakers say literally, they often mean really, or seriously, or I can't believe this happened. It shows that something surprised them or made a big impression. You'll hear this word constantly in casual conversations, especially with younger speakers. My teenage niece Emma uses this word all the time. Yesterday she came home from school and said, "Aunt Lisa, I literally died laughing in math class today." Our teacher tried to use slang and said, "That's totally lit," when talking about algebra. It was literally the funniest thing ever. She didn't actually die, of course, but she was showing me how funny she thought it was. For example, "I literally just saw your message 2 seconds ago." You might hear something like, "This pizza is literally the best thing I've ever eaten." Here's another one. "I literally can't believe we won the game." Native speakers use this word so much that it's become part of natural, casual English. Have you ever heard this before? Which way do you think you'd use it more? Number 4. I'm used to it. This expression means that something has become normal or comfortable for you because you've experienced it many times. When you're used to something, it doesn't surprise you or bother you anymore. It's become part of your regular life. We use this phrase when we want to show that something that might seem strange or difficult to other people is actually normal for us. It can be about weather, food, work schedules, noise, or any situation that you've experienced enough times that it feels natural. Let me share a story about my friend Carlos. He moved from a quiet small town to New York City 5 years ago. When he first arrived, the constant noise of traffic, sirens, and people talking loudly kept him awake at night. But now, when visitors complain about how noisy the city is, Carlos just smiles and says, "I'm used to it." Actually, when I visit quiet places now, the silence feels strange to me. For example, working night shifts was hard at first, but I'm used to it now. People often say, "The spicy food here was too hot for me before, but I'm used to it." Imagine this: my roommate plays music loud, but I'm used to it. It doesn't bother me anymore. This is such a useful expression because it helps explain why things that might seem difficult to others feel easy to you. Let me know in the comments what's something you're used to that other people might find difficult. Number 5, you look so familiar to me. This sentence is what we say when we think we've seen someone before, but we can't remember where or when. Familiar means recognizable or known to you. It's that feeling when someone's face seems like you should know them, but you're not completely sure. We use this expression when we meet new people but feel like we've met them before. Maybe they remind us of someone else, or maybe we actually did see them somewhere, like a coffee shop, at work, or at school. It's a friendly way to start a conversation with someone. This happened to me last month at the grocery store. I was waiting in line when the person in front of me turned around, and I had this strong feeling that I knew her. I said, "Excuse me, you look so familiar to me. Have we met somewhere before?" It turned out she worked at the bank where I go every month. We had seen each other many times but never actually talked before. For example, "You look so familiar to me. Do you work at the coffee shop on Main Street?" You might hear something like, "You look so familiar to me. Did you go to Central High School?" Let's take this one. "You look so familiar to me. I think we might have met at Jennifer's party last year." This is a great conversation starter because it shows you're friendly and interested in getting to know someone. Have you ever had this feeling when meeting someone new? Number 6. Something's come up. This phrase means that something unexpected has happened, and usually it changes your plans. When we say, something's come up, we're explaining that we need to deal with a new situation that we didn't plan for. It's often used when we need to cancel or change our plans. Native speakers use this phrase all the time because life is full of surprises. It could be a work emergency, a family situation, a health problem, or any unexpected event. It's a polite way to explain why you can't do something you plan to do. Here's what happened to my neighbor Kate last week. She was supposed to come to my birthday dinner on Saturday night, but on Saturday morning she called me. She sounded worried and said, "I'm so sorry, but something's come up. My mom fell down at her house, and I need to drive there right away to take her to the doctor. I really wanted to be at your dinner, but family comes first." Of course, I understood completely. For example, I can't come to the meeting today because something's come up at home. People often say, "Sorry I'm late. Something came up at work and I couldn't leave on time." Here's another one. "We need to postpone our vacation because something's come up with my dad's health." This expression is really useful because it's vague enough to be polite. You don't always need to explain exactly what the problem is. Do you think this would be helpful in your conversations? Number 7. In case of emergency. This phrase means if there's an emergency or if something dangerous or urgent happens. An emergency is a serious situation that needs immediate attention, like a fire, accident, medical problem, or any dangerous situation. This expression is about being prepared. You'll see this phrase written on signs, in buildings, and in instruction manuals. You'll also hear people say it when they're making plans or giving advice. It's about thinking ahead and being ready for problems that we hope won't happen but might happen. My sister Jennifer is very careful about safety. When her daughter started high school, Jennifer sat her down and said, "Honey, I'm putting $50 in your backpack in case of emergency. If something happens and you need to get home quickly, use this money for a taxi or bus. Also, here's a list of phone numbers to call in case of emergency." She wanted her daughter to be prepared for any situation. For example, keep a flashlight in your car in case of emergency. You might hear something like, "Write down your emergency contact number in case of emergency." Let's take this one. "We should have some extra food and water stored in case of emergency." This expression shows that you're responsible and think about safety. It's used both in serious situations and in everyday planning. Let me know in the comments if your family has any emergency plans. Number 8. Don't be a stranger. This phrase is a very warm, friendly way to tell someone to stay in touch and visit or call you again soon. When someone is a stranger, it means you don't know them. But when we say, "Don't be a stranger," we're saying, "Please don't become someone I never see or talk to again." We usually say this when we're saying goodbye to someone we like and want to see again. It could be an old friend, a family member, or even someone we just met but enjoyed talking to. It's more casual and warmer than saying goodbye or see you later. My Uncle Tom lives in another state, and he doesn't visit our family very often. Last Christmas, he came to stay with us for a week. When he was leaving, my mom hugged him tight and said, "Tom, don't be a stranger. You're always welcome here, and we love having you around. Don't wait another 2 years before you visit us again." She was telling him in a loving way that she wanted him to visit more often. For example, "It was great meeting you tonight." Don't be a stranger, people often say. "Thanks for having dinner with us. Don't be a stranger, okay?" Imagine this. "I know you're busy with your new job, but don't be a stranger. Call me sometime." This expression makes people feel welcome and loved. It's warmer than just saying goodbye. Have you ever heard someone say this to you before? Number 9, you haven't aged a day. This expression is a very nice compliment that means someone looks exactly the same as they did in the past, usually many years ago. When we say someone hasn't aged a day, we're telling them they look young and healthy, just like they did before. People love to hear this compliment. We use it when we see someone after a long time and they look surprisingly young or good. It's a way to make someone feel really good about themselves. Sometimes people say it even if the person has changed a little, because it's such a kind thing to say. This happened at my high school reunion last year. I saw my old friend Maria, who I hadn't seen for 15 years. She looked absolutely beautiful, with the same bright smile and energy she had when we were teenagers. I was so surprised that I said, "Maria, oh my goodness, you haven't aged a day. You look exactly like you did when we were 18." She started laughing and blushing, and she told me it was the best compliment she'd heard all year. For example, "Wow, Mrs. Johnson, you haven't aged a day since I was in your class 10 years ago." You might hear something like, "I can't believe you're 50 years old. You haven't aged a day." Here's another one, "Looking at these old photos, you haven't aged a day. What's your secret?" This is such a wonderful compliment to give someone, especially if you haven't seen them for a long time. It always makes people smile. Which of these expressions do you think would make someone the happiest? Number 10. Not too shabby. This phrase means pretty good or better than expected. Shabby usually means old, worn out, or poor quality. But when we say not too shabby, we're actually giving a compliment. It's a casual, sometimes funny way to say that something is quite good. Native speakers use this expression when they want to show they're pleased or impressed, but in a relaxed, informal way. It's more casual than saying excellent or wonderful. You'll often hear it when people are being a little playful or modest about something good. My brother Jake is learning to cook, and he's not usually very good at it. Last weekend, he invited me over for dinner and made homemade pasta with sauce from scratch. I was expecting something simple, but when I tasted it, I was really surprised. It was delicious. I told him, "Jake, this pasta is not too shabby. Actually, it's really, really good." "I'm impressed." He smiled so big because he knew I was genuinely surprised by how well he did. For example, "I thought your presentation would be boring, but it was not too shabby." People often say, "For your first time playing guitar, that song was not too shabby." Let's take this one. "This restaurant looks old, but the food is not too shabby." This expression is great because it sounds natural and a little bit playful. It shows you're pleasantly surprised by something. Do you think you could use this in your daily conversations? Let's recap what we learned today. We covered 10 super useful expressions that native English speakers use all the time. We learned "so convenient" for when something makes life easier, "balls in your court" when it's someone's turn to decide, and "literally" for emphasis. We talked about "I'm used to it" for things that are normal to you. "You look so familiar to me" when someone seems recognizable, and "something's come up" for unexpected situations. We also covered "in case of emergency" for emergency planning. "Don't be a stranger" as a warm goodbye. "You haven't aged a day" as a wonderful compliment, and "not too shabby" for pleasant surprises. These expressions will make your English sound so much more natural and native-like. Remember, the best way to learn these is to practice using them in real conversations. Try to use at least one of these expressions this week and see how native speakers respond. They'll be impressed by how natural you sound. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Tomorrow we'll be back with 10 more amazing expressions that you'll love learning. I post new videos every day to help you improve your English step by step. Which of these 10 expressions was your favorite today? Let me know in the comments which one you're most excited to try using. I love reading your comments and seeing how you're progressing with your English. Take care and keep practicing your English. You're doing such a great job, and I'm so proud of how hard you're working to improve. See you tomorrow for more fun English learning.